Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. All of us have got two things common in life. One is we have infinite potentiality. Nobody lacks that. Everybody has the infinite energy, potentiality. And all of us have got a finite time. See the contradictions? Potentiality is infinite, but the time at our disposal is finite. Like you are here in Kaivalya Dham. You are not here for all the time. You have got a finite time. Maybe 9 months, 1 year, whatever your course is. So the best part will be of our life. How do we explore, not exploit? How do we explore our infinite potentiality in the finite time? That is the Gita Yoga. Otherwise, so many opportunities come, but because of our inefficiency, we lose it. This is the topic in the 4th chapter, Bhagavan Sri Krishna tells. In the 3rd one, we have seen, Evam buddhe param buddhva samstabhyatmanam atmanaha jahi shatrum mahabahu kama rupam durasadam. So our biggest enemy is this desire, kam. I want this, I want that. There is no end to it. If you see in the whole world, what is corruption? Corruption is an influence of the desire on a person, is corruption. Nobody can eat $1 million. But still we keep on collecting. What for? See? And we know also that all that we have is not going to be with us all the time. Therefore, this kama rupam durasadam mahashatrum, this desire is a terrible enemy. We must have desire to lead a dignified and quality life, not at the cost of others. So, this is the wisdom part, the knowledge part. And the second thing is the dynamism. So again, two things. Dynamism not supported by wisdom is terrorism. Dynamism supported by wisdom is a cultured life. See? And therefore this part is brought out in the 4th chapter. Here Bhagavan says, Sa evayam maya tedya yoga prokta puratanaha bhaktosi me sakacheti rahasyam hetaruttama. Arjuna, I have told you this yoga. We all have finite time, infinite potentiality. You are on the war front. Now here there is no point for discussion and all that. After deciding things, you have come. One simple rule I will tell you. Plan your work and work on your plan. Otherwise, only keep on planning and doing nothing. So Arjuna did not come on the battlefield just like that. It was already decided, planned. And once it was decided that this war has to be, so now it has to be. You can't change it in between. See? And therefore, here he says that this is not new that I told you. This I have been telling it right from the beginning of the creation. See, friends? And thereafter he says, this knowledge I had given to Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavan Amavyam Vivasvan Manave Praha Manu Ikshva Kavi Bravid Evam Parampara Prapta Rajarshayo Viduhu Sakale Nehe Yogo Mahata Nashta Parantapa. This knowledge I had given to son, and then he gave to the Ikshvaku, and then to the Manu. In this manner, in a hierarchy, the knowledge was passed on. Now here Arjuna raises a question. Bhagavan Sri Krishna, you are born just before me 3 years. On the battlefield, age of Bhagavan Sri Krishna was 89 years of age. And Arjuna's age was 86 years. So Arjuna was 3 years younger than Bhagavan Krishna. And Bhagavan is telling that I have given this knowledge to son. And therefore the son is doing his karma yoga. There is no holiday for the son. See, like you people have holiday, I have 0 holidays. I work only 365 days a year, no holiday. Once it so happened, I was conducting Vedanta class course here itself, and some people came to meet. They say, we are also wanting to start Vedanta course. So please tell us, what are you teaching? So I give the list. These are the Upanishad, these are the Prakran Granthas, this is Sanskrit, and then Patanjali Yoga Darshan, and then then some part of Bhagavat. I give a list of what we are going to teach. He said, my God, so much? I said, why so much? This is just little. He said, no, it is too much. How much time do you think you will take? They asked me. I said, we will complete it in 2 years. 2 years? This is the lifelong study. It is so big. All the Upanishad, then Bhagavad Gita, and then many Prakaran Granthas, and then Patanjali Yoga Darshan and Bhagavad Mahapuran. So many things in 2 years. How is it possible? Then I asked him, according to you, how much time it will take? It will take at least 15-20 years. I said, okay, please define year, Y-E-A-R. When you say so many years, define, what is the year? He said, year means how many classes you have got per month, per week, and then how many holidays you have, how many absentees. So if you see the calendar, out of 365 days, we hardly work 120 days. So that 120 days is equal to 1 year. I said, for us, we work only for 365 days a year. There is no holiday. This is important. And this knowledge is given by Bhagavan Krishna to son and all the other things. So Arjuna asked this question, Aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvataha katham etad vijaniyam tvamadu proktavaniti. Oh Lord, you are born recently, hardly 80-90 years before, and the sun is even before you came on this earth. The sun was already there. How do you claim that you have given this knowledge to sun? So, katham etad vijaniyam, how can I accept your statement? Please tell me again. So, Bhagavan says, Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacha Arjuna tanyaham veda sarvani natvam vetta parantapa. Arjun, both of us have taken many lives, many avatars. We are born millions of times. The difference between you and me is, I know all of them. You do not know any one of them. See, friends. Now here, be very attentive. We will go deep. Our first avatar was a baby. Then our second avatar was a child. Then our third avatar was a teenager. Then our fourth avatar was a middle age. Then our fifth avatar is the old age. Where did we die? So if the old man says that in the childhood, so we can ask, how do you know childhood? You are old now. But the one who is supporting all the changes, that substratum is Bhagavan Sri Krishna. About this I will tell you one very important thing. How we study a wrong way. This happened in US. I went to somebody's house for a talk, lunch and talk. So about 15-20 people have gathered, and they say, Swamiji, please talk to us on something on Gita. I said, come on, here I have come for taking food. My mouth opens only for food, not otherwise. No, please tell something. Then they introduced, this gentleman has come from India and he is teaching us Gita for last 6 months. I said, then I will also listen, let him tell, I will listen to him. No. You have to talk. We are listening him every day. Now we want you come once in a blue moon. And then he said, okay. That man asked me, can you tell me how many verses are attributed to Dhritarashtra, to Sanjay, to Arjun and Bhagwan Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita? Academic studies. See? So, I started acting dumb. I said, I don't know. You don't know? I said, no. No, you must be knowing. I said, okay, then I'll tell you. Listen. Dhritarashtra, only one verse. And Bhagwan Krishna, not a single verse. Bhagwan Krishna did not give a single verse in Bhagavad Gita. He nearly jumped out of his skin. What? I said, yes. He said, how it is possible? I said, show me your book of Bhagavad Gita. The same book he showed me. See? I said, show me where it is written, Bhagwan Sri Krishna Uvacha. What he said? Bhagavan Uvacha. The truth is uncreated. See, friends, this is the basic difference in our approach to the spirituality. Therefore, in our thought, it is not personality oriented, it is principle oriented. Can we say physics is oriented to a particular scientist? No. Science is universal. See, friends, therefore, what Bhagwan Sri Krishna is telling, he is not talking that I, the son of Devaki, I, the Radha Vallabha, I, the friend of Arjuna. No. He will come to that point. Therefore, he says, I know myself, but you do not know who you are. And thereafter, this is the most important verse you all must have heard. Ajopi sannavayatma bhutanam ishvaropi san prakritim swam adhisthaya sambhavami atmamayaya. I am unborn. Bhagavan Krishna was born. I am unborn. Ajopi san avayatma. I don't change. I am ever the same. See? Ajopi, unborn, although I never change. Bhutanam ishvaropi san. Everything is under my control. And prakritim sam adhisthaya, keeping my prakriti, my matter under my control, sambhavami atmamayaya. I manifest myself. See, now a question is asked. Since when electricity is expressing as light in the bulb? What will be the answer? Since when electricity is expressing light in the bulb? See, friends, from the time unknown. Energy is not created and matter is not destroyed. See, friends, Purusha Prakriti in Patanjali Sankhya it comes. Purusha is the eternal one, uncreated, unborn. That is what Bhagavan Krishna is. Ajopi san navayatma bhutanam ishvaropi san. Since when the waves are born on the ocean? Can we pinpoint a time? Think. But what happens? We are the slaves of the present historical accounts. And the history writers, they are paid corrupt people. You pay them and get whatever you want to get written, and that becomes the history. See, friends. Therefore, when in Mahabharata this is said, Mahabharata is the book of history. What happened that time? And the writer, Vedavyasa, was not a corrupt writer. He was not a cheap person who will come and write something by taking some bribe. No. Therefore, Prakritim sam adhisthaya sambhavami atmamayaya. Keeping my potentiality under my control, I manifest myself. Now, why do you manifest? So, this is the way he manifests. Manifestation is different from individuality. This is another most important principle we have to learn. Take this example, it's a very simple example. Just imagine, electricity is the ultimate truth. This is just example. Electricity is ultimate truth. Electricity expresses as light in different tubes or bulbs. Bulbs are many, tubes are many, but are the lights many? Light is one. So expression of electricity in the bulb or the tube is a manifestation. They appear many because of many bulbs or many tubes. Exactly the same way. We are all the expression of that divinity. We become separate from each other because our attention is on the bulb, on the body. Body-wise we are different, but life-wise we are the same. Think. This is what Bhagavan Sri Krishna is telling here. About this I will tell you one event which happened many years before. I was pretty young that time. I used to stay somewhere and there was one Christian couple, Kathy and Ina. They were very close friend of mine. And he was a taxi driver. And his wife was a housewife. So one day he told me, he used to call me Sadhu Baba. Hey Sadhu Baba, your Kathy has delivered a baby. I said, okay, I'll come and congratulate her. Now I have to go for my lecture. I'll come later. And he never has come to my lecture. Only friends. No satsanga, no nothing. And when my talk was over, he was standing outside. I said, hey, how come you are here today? He was in tears. So what happened? He said, no, she is bleeding profusely. I said, then call her mother, father, sister, brother, somebody's blood will match and give. That I have done. But they say, according to our religion, we cannot give blood to others. I said, oh God. I said, pray to your Jesus that my blood should match with her. And we straight away went to the hospital in his taxi. And they tested the blood and it matched. I said, very good. Take as much as you want. She was survived. Afterwards, after about 15-20 days, I went to their house. I said, hey, give me a nice cup of tea, no milk, no sugar. And then I asked her, I said, Kathy, bottle is Christian, liquor is Hindu, who are you? Friends, individuality divides. Life-wise, we are all one. Hunger, thirst, disease, anger, confusion, everything is common. Where is the difference? But our attention is focused on individualities. And this is where Bhagavan Sri Krishna comes into play. He says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. These two verses are most popular verses. See. Now why the Lord has to descend? He himself comes. He doesn't send anybody. Hey, you go and do the job. No, he is capable coming. See? So first of all, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati. Hey Bharata, hey Arjun. The word Bharata doesn't mean only India. Bharata, Bha means knowledge. Rata means reveling. He who is reveling in knowledge is the genome of Indians. India is known all over the world as a spiritual country. All other things, you may do anything, IT and all that, but basically people come to this country not for anything else, only for spirituality. So, Bharata is the spiritual minded person. Hey Arjun, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati. Whenever we are not following what we are supposed to do. Dharmasya glani means what? When the parents are not behaving like parents, when the children are not behaving like children, when the teachers are not behaving like teachers, when the students are not living like students, then dharma glani is happening. See, if all of us, whatever we are supposed to do, if we do our job perfectly, there will be harmony, there will be cheer and happiness. But whenever this gets disturbed, then I come. Then for what? Abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham. So for the removal of the wrong notions from the society, we all have many wrong notions. 4 wrong notions are to be corrected according to Gita Yoga. First wrong notion about ourselves as to who we are at a given period of time. Second is, what is this world? When we say world, what does it mean? The third is, when we say God, what do we mean by God? And fourth thing, what do we mean by the spiritual practice? We are all in darkness, and therefore, when I say I, so I is not one. This I, it's a poultry farm inside. When I say I am old, here I means the body. When I say I am hungry, I mean the pranamaya kosha. When I say I am confused, I means mind. When I say I am determined, I mean vijnanamaya kosha or the intellect. See, when I say I am a husband, I am a brother, I am a mother, I am a father, how many of us? And then we get confused. See? Therefore, these wrong notions are to be corrected. So here, abhyutthanam adharmasya. If we remember our own position in life, like we are all here, I have to remember that I have to come and talk on Gita here at 3 o'clock. So I must come. May what happen? Except my death. I have to come. I can't compromise with that because that is my dharma. Similarly, your dharma is come to the class at the right time and don't sleep. See? This is so simple. And once we understand this, then whole Bhagavad Gita is understood. This is what happened to Arjuna. He came on the battlefield and got confused and he did not want to fight the war. Therefore, this identity crisis has to be removed. So, abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyam, then I manifest myself. Then, what? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. 2 jobs are done. The sadhu, the good people are protected and the terrorists are destroyed. And vinashaya cha dushkritam, dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. For re-establishment of the righteousness in the world, I am born again and again. I manifest again and again. See, friends, therefore, Bhagavad Gita is not told by somebody to somebody, and therefore there is no place for fixing a particular date when who was born, etc. It is beyond the historical accounts. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. Now, this 9th verse is one of my most favorite verse. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvataha. He who knows and understands my birth and my karma. See, how do we understand our birth? Be attentive. Do we have the experience of our birth? Nobody has. Many years before, one of my friends, his wife delivered. He was in the hospital at 1 o'clock at night. And nurse didn't allow him to go and see her. So he called me. So at 2 o'clock, I went there. And then spoke to that nurse in her mother tongue, so she agreed. And then I went and saw, for the first time I have seen a freshly born child, must be about this much length, like a squirrel, black, dirty. After seeing that, I said, I am not going to take birth again. Vairagya has come. It's so dirty. Then I came across, out, and he asked, Swamiji, how is the country? Oh, she is very fine, and your baby is so cute, telling absolute lies. See? Janma karma cha me divyam. Then I asked that nurse, I said, Mama, I want to ask you something if you don't mind. Yes. How do you tell exactly what time the child is born? When the head comes out or when the tail comes out? And there is not one lady, there are dozen of them standing in the queue. And you have got only one watch. Are you watching? How do you decide? And if you observe, all the time of birth is always a odd figure. 7:59. They will never say 8 o'clock. If they write 8 o'clock, nobody will trust them. This is what I asked her. I said, all the date of births are date of time of birth is always very abnormal. 6:55, 43, 29. I said, how do you decide so perfectly? Your watch is ordinary watch. He said, Swamiji, I'll tell you the truth. If we tell them 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, nobody listens to us. They say you are sleeping. So just to protect ourselves, we say he was born at 7:22. Neither the mother knows when the child is born, nor the child knows when the child is born, nor the nurse knows when the child is born. And my date of birth is so and so. Hare Dambo, you are not born. Janma karma che me divyam. When are we born? The moment we have body identification. In deep sleep, who are you? Number 1. Where are you? Number 2. When are you? Number 3. You are none. And again, body identification happens, then I am man, I am woman, and young, I am old, I am beautiful and awful. There is no end to that. So, we are born again and again and again and again, and again die. See, janma karma cha me divyam. If you take to this principle, then you will be able to start living in meditation. See, just now. The objects are gross. The sense organs are subtle. Objects are color forms. They are many, they are gross. Vision is one and subtle. This is one example. Then, sense organs are gross, mind is subtle. That mind is gross, the I who is holding the mind is still subtle. Now, this is the journey. The journey is not in time, the journey is not in space. It is not a spatio-temporal journey in meditation. Meditation journey is from the virtual I to actual I. I am a husband is a virtual I. I am a man is the actual I. When my wife died, what happened to me, the husband? Nothing. Because husband was never there. It's only virtual, not real. When we delete some data from our laptop, the laptop doesn't become light. When we add some more, it doesn't become heavy because it is virtual. All these individualities that we carry on our head, mother, father, brother, sister, husband, wife, in-laws, outlaws, they are all virtual realities. And they are miserable. The one who doesn't exist, if he is miserable, how can you help him? Janma karma cha me divyam. My birth is divine. This is my birth. Although I am born, yet I am unborn. One example will make it clear. There was a couple and they came and talked to me, and the husband said, Swamiji, please tell my wife, at least she should respect my age. I am elder than her, but she treats me like a jadu. Please tell her something. I said, look here, I will take her side because she gives me food. You are not giving me food. Then I told, how many years you are married? Swamiji, we are married for 15 years. I said, therefore, you are teenagers. Your anniversary is the age of the husband and wife. You as a man may be elder, but the one who is suffering is not the man. The one who is suffering is the husband. And husband's age and wife's age is exactly the same. And what is that age? Your anniversary. Then how long it will continue? As a teenage में झगड़े होते ही है. You are 15 years. Another 4 years you suffer. And after you become married for 19 years, then you will come to know that there is no choice now. Somehow pull on. But we make our life so miserable because of not knowing this. Janma karma cha me divyam. See, friends. Therefore, lead your life as if you are on a stage doing some drama. See, an actor is acting on the stage. He is acting, for example, Chhatrapati Shivaji. And he is dressed, putting everything properly, nice makeup, and he comes and talks, and the audience is giving nice clapping and all that. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj ki jai. That time, he is acting so perfect. But that time also, he knows, I am not Chhatrapati. I am not even an ordinary pati. Nobody marries me. Therefore, I have become an actor. See, friends, the day you understand these principles, you have understood the Gita Yoga. Janma karma cha me divyam. Karma means what? Action plus doership is equal to karma. See? Breathing is happening. We are not doing breathing. Pranayam we do. See? And therefore, when you do pranayam, something may go wrong this way, that way. But when breathing goes wrong, nobody blames you. While taking food, I am taking food. Then something may be good or bad. Today is Ekadashi and I had taken rice. Oh God, what will happen? Nothing will happen. You go to hell. No, I don't want to go to hell. Then why did you eat rice on Ekadashi? But after the food goes inside the stomach, do we have that notion? Hey, don't disturb, digestion in progress. No. But when we do meditation, we put a board outside. Don't disturb, meditation in progress. Why don't disturb? We are already disturbed. We don't require external disturbance. We are self-sufficient as regard disturbance is concerned. Think. Janma karma cha me divyam. Therefore, whatever we are doing in our life, if we do that, not as I am doing, use a passive voice. You know English language. Active voice and passive voice. I have done this job. Passive voice, the job is done. So in the active voice, the I is important. In passive voice, the job is important. How simple it is. But everywhere, see, I went there, I have done this thing, I have done that, forget about it. When we were not, this principle you please catch. When we were not in this world, there was nothing lacking. When we will leave this world, there will be nothing lacking. So our presence has no meaning. But ahankara vimudhatma karta hamiti manyate. But we have that arrogance. I have done this, I have done that. We can't even stop our sneezing. It happens sometimes. Some meeting is going on, and in that meeting somebody gets a sneeze. So he says, excuse me. So everybody is receiving their sneeze with all silence. And he doesn't come. We can't control a single little thing. But what an arrogance. I have done this, I have done that. The Gita yogis be actively, dynamically involved in the world. But don't carry the virus of ego when you are performing your duties. Performance of duty is not an obligation. It is our duty. You have to do it. See, friends. And to get out of this ego factor, the simplest thing I can tell you, remember this thing, we need. The world doesn't need us. I don't know if you have parents among you. Many parents have got that funny notion. Swamiji, we have done so much for our children, but they don't listen to us. Now tell me, those in Delhi it happened. There was one small man I am telling. He must be about 1.5 feet or 2 feet, this much height. 35 years. So he used to come for my talk, very sweet boy. So I asked him, I said, hey, how come you have not grown up? Swamiji, no parents, therefore I could not grow. What the parents do for the growth of the child? Every morning go and pump the air, then the child is growing up. No. But what arrogance the parents have. Humne itna kiya. Who asked you? It is your problem. You have created the problem. You take care. Think. Who needs whom? Whether the parents need the children or the children need the parent. Analyze this. When they get married, if they don't have a child, how much they run from pillar to post. And ultimately they get one. So it is the need of the parents to have the child. The child doesn't need parents. But the parents have that arrogance. I. See, friends, let us come out of this virus I. Therefore, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha. This is the essence of birth and karma. He who knows it tattvataha, he who knows in essence. What does it mean, knows in essence? Therefore, we will continue to conduct our life in a natural way as it is going on now. Externally, nothing will change. Internally, the change will come. You will not become frustrated. You will not become miserable. You will not have any vengeance for somebody. You will not have any negativities. You will be at peace with yourself. Gita Yoga is be attentive. If you are at peace with yourself, you have learned the whole Bhagavad Gita. We are at war with ourselves. Constantly talking. Watch on the airports, on the public places. If somebody is sitting alone, watch. That is my time pass. When I travel a lot, so just go on the sit somewhere and just sit comfortably. You don't have to do anything. And watch people. So much they are talking to themselves. Talking to yourself, not at peace. And such people call themselves that, no, I am little sentimental. You are not sentimental. You are ready to become mental. See? Like centimeter becomes a meter. No? See, friends, be at peace with yourself. You will be always understanding the whole Bhagavad Gita. See, friends. Therefore, Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti so mameti sorjuna. For him there is no death. He has conquered the death the moment you know your divine nature. See, there is one text called Sanat Sujatiya from Mahabharata only. And it is such a wonderful text. There it is distinctly, clearly demonstrated. Death is an illusion. Nobody dies. If you get established in that knowledge, you will have a total different quality of life. Nobody suffers because of death. We suffer because of the fear of death. Patani, and old people, even youngsters, they ask, Swamiji, what happens after death? Common question. So my answer is very simple. What has happened when you are alive? When you are alive, nothing has happened. After death also nothing will happen. We are the most unwanted creature in this world. But what a great arrogance. I want to do this, I want to do that. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. He is free from the fear of death, etc. And who can do this? Vitaraga bhayakrodha manmaya mam upasitaha bhavaha jnana tapasa puta man bhavamagataha. ये यथा माम प्रपद्यन्ते यथा तथैव भजाम्यहम मम वर्त्मानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्या पार्थ सर्वशः. In the 10th and 11th verse I read, so those who are vitaraga bhaya krodhaha, those who are free from anger, greed, fear, and they are at peace with themselves, mam upashritaha bahavaha jnana tapasa, such people can have a contemplative life. All the time, body, body, body. See, in Patanjali Yoga Darshan, there is one sutra which tells, Jati, Ayu, Bhogaha. These three things are already determined for every one of us. You cannot change it. It is according to our karmashaya from the last life. What is the sutra? Do you remember? I don't remember. Huh? Never mind. So, this sutra tells, according to your karmashaya from the last life, karmashaya from last life means the total karma that you have done in the last life, together is called as karmashaya. That determines our next life, and where it is jati ayu bhogaha. Jati means what we will be born as. A human being, a plant, an animal or snake or a mosquito, jati. Then ayu, what will be the longevity, that the body will continue to exist. And bhogaha, what will be the experiences which are designed for that particular body. This is already determined. You cannot change it. What can be changed? You have to change yourself. Let the changes happen around or in me, but I am at peace with myself. That is the Gita Yoga. Normally what happens? We try to change people around us, things around us. Don't waste your time. Two things you try. Never try to make anybody happy in this world. We struggle unnecessarily to make somebody happy. Why not to try make anybody happy in this world? We belong to democracy, is it not? So all of us have got a right to be miserable. So tathastu. Don't waste your time in making others happy. And second thing, you don't have to make anybody miserable. Everybody is self-sufficient. So keep away, relax, and be at peace with yourself. This is what Gita tells. Therefore, Bhavaha Jnana Tapasa. This is the tapasya of knowledge. Jnana Tapasa. Now we are not doing anything physically so far. Physically we are not doing. No asana, no pranayam, no nothing. Only understanding. See, problems are not in the body. This is another very important principle, please understand. Body doesn't suffer. It is the mind where all the experiences happen. See, I don't know if I told you, I had something wrong with my big toe. And one of my friend doctor, he said, I'll operate. I said, okay, operate. So when I went and sat in his thing, he opened it, cut and whatever, and I was watching, blood was coming out, and I was not having any pain. This example I gave you the other day, if you remember. That day I had discovered this principle, not from the books, but from the experience. All experiences happen only in the mind and not in the body. Body doesn't suffer. It is the mind that suffers. And therefore, all the spiritual practice is mind your mind. If we can practice on that, then alone we are following the Gita Yoga. Then, ye yatha mam prapadyante sta tathaiva bhajamyaham mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvashaha. So, whatever the people seek me, in that way I appear before them. Because everybody is seeking me only. Be attentive. When Bhagavan says everybody is seeking me, what we are all seeking in life? Only one thing, and that is bliss or happiness, nothing else. See? You have come over here in this institution for becoming miserable or to become happy. If you become miserable, your choice. But you have come here not to become miserable. People get married. For what? Has any boy and girl got married? Hey, let us get married and become miserable. No. Nobody gets married to become miserable, but nobody remains happy after marriage. Therefore, wise people don't get married. Otherwise, people get married and suffer. See, friends. So, what we are doing? We are seeking happiness. Instead of seeking happiness, express happiness. Instead of seeking happiness, discover happiness. Whenever you discover something, it is already existing. When you are seeking something, it is lost. See? Or you want to create it. See, friends, like scientific discoveries. Scientists do not create the laws of nature. Laws of nature are already there, existing. They are only discovering. Those laws of nature are covered by the ignorance about them. In the same manner, our bliss, our happiness is covered by the ignorance about our essential nature. Because we started thinking, I am body, I am prana, I am mind, I am this, I am that. And under the coverage of so many things, our divine nature is completely shadowed and it cannot be experienced. Therefore, here again Bhagavan goes ahead and Kankshanta karmanam siddhi jajanta hiya devataha kshipram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. Now those who are wanting so many things in this world, they keep themselves engaged in doing so many karma, because karma is possible only for human beings. The higher worlds, devatas, and the lower world animals, they have no freedom for karma. They are called a bhoga yoni. Devatas, they are only enjoying and indulging. The animals or the lower forms, they are only suffering. Human beings are the center. We have the freedom to make our life or to mar our life. See, friends, either go the wrong way and go back to the animal life, or go the right way and go to the devata, higher life, or transcend both of them and merge in the absolute. Gita Yoga tells us, don't go to the lower or the higher, go beyond. You want to go beyond right now? Be attentive. You will not die, don't worry. I will make some sound here. Intensely listen the sound. Now, between the two sounds there is silence. Now listen to the silence. You have done two. Both the sound and the silence were heard by you, is it not? Now don't hear both of them. You are this. And it is so simple. Don't trust me. Your own experience, evaluate. We experience joy as well as sorrows. So we are present both the places. When there is a joy, we are present. When there is a misery, we are present. So when we are in both the places, we have to be beyond them. See, the space is present in the east as well as in the west. Therefore, what is the space? Space is beyond east and west. Life is present both in the human beings and animals. Therefore, life is beyond human beings and animals. See, eyes can see green color and red color. Therefore, what is our eyes? Eyes are neither green nor red, but beyond them. You are not struggling for Chitta Vritti Nirodha. This experience is undefinable. It is unlike anything. It is not like, oh, eating rasgulla, like that. No. Oh, it is so cool, like the full moon. No. See? It is unlike anything. See, my friends, therefore, mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvashaha. We are all seeking this, but not knowing our search is wrongly placed. We imagine in the object is the source of happiness and we run after that object. Oh, observe yourself. You all have mobile phones. When you get a new mobile phone, first 3-4 days, so much. Afterwards, it becomes stale. Then new model. See? Because human mind cannot remain attracted toward the same object for a longer period of time. It's natural. It is not abnormal. It's natural. Then because we are ignorant about it, then what happens? Then we start searching other objects. See? So we have this thing, then we give it up, then we take another thing, we give it up. This is how the people go on getting married and divorced and married and divorced. Ultimately they end up into a mess. See, my friends. Therefore, Gita Yoga brings you to your divine nature. Don't seek happiness. Be happy. And how to be happy? No complaints about anything, about anybody at any time. Relax, relax, relax. See, Maharaj. चातुर्वर्ण्यं मया सृष्टं गुणकर्म विभागशः तस्य कर्तारमपि मां विद्य कर्तारमव्ययम्. This is the most important and controversial verse. Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashah. I have classified humanity in 4 classes. Now, on the basis of this, there is a big roar in the political field. So what is the real meaning of this verse? This will take in our next class. I think this class is over now, isn't it? So I'll be coming back. I'm going tomorrow to Indore for some conference. So I'll come maybe 5-6 days. Then we can organize. Okay? Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.